Hey everyone, thank you for coming and seeing my show. I'm Kimm with a double M and Dunk as in slam. And I'm the founder of Coastal Psychic Guide Spiritual School. And I'm listening here from Lake Macquarie, New South Wales in Australia. And I'm so grateful to be here on A1R Radio today with you all. And before we go any further, I'd just like to set the tone for my space and just want you to know that this is a safe space for people who are welcoming, who are awakening, feeling overwhelmed and a bit anxious and confused and feeling like life has sort of cracked them open and then don't quite sure where they fit into where they used to be. And so just a little bit about me and my story before we go any further. From a very young age, my body learned how to adapt. When I was between 8 and 10 years old, I experienced situations where my boundaries weren't respected. When I was 11, I was on a day home from school. I was sick and found some adoption papers that absolutely kicked me for a six. And the betrayal, the confusion, the feelings of being unloved and unlovable, and feelings of just abandonment that I carried for decades. And later in my teens, I found myself experiencing another violation, which sent me into more of a really downward spiral through depression, anxiety, addiction, feelings of anger and shame, and wanting to self-harm. I couldn't sleep and I was stuffing my emotions down, and which later I understood were all ways that I was just trying to, calm my nervous system. When I was 14, I had my first spiritual experience, and I'd been out to an Excess concert for the night, which was in Sydney, 50 kilometres away from where I lived. And my girlfriend and I stayed at her aunt's house. And when we come home from the concert that night, I remember the aunt saying, don't worry too much if you see Auntie Nana Ethel through the night. She's not going to hurt you, sort of thing. I'm thinking, like, what? Like, I just wanted to go to sleep. But anyway, of course, who was I? I was the one who woke up through the night and saw, Nana Ethel in all her beautiful glory. And she was like a very faded image of a older woman. She was in absolutely beautiful glowing white light and just standing there in the hallway looking at me. And I didn't feel scared at all. I remember rubbing my eyes though, thinking, is this right? Like, is this real? But she was, I was in awe of her. She was beautiful. She was angelic, and I felt no fear at all. So I just pretty much went back to sleep. So that was pretty exciting. I it was later in my teens that as I was working as a bank teller, I was in a hold up and I had the gun to my head the whole time of the robbery. And it felt like a movie I was in. I was all in slow motion, and yeah, it wasn't a great feeling, and it really brought back flooding memories and feelings that I was feeling in my previous situations. And, all those traumas came flooding back to me, and, the depression and, anxiety and, I was a mess for a long, long time. And I found that, these feelings just were hard to understand and work through, if that makes sense. But when I was in my early 20s, I entered a marriage that was more coming from a feeling of needing to be loved more than really knowing who I was. I struggled with self-love, I struggled with self-confidence and not trusting my intuition. And I was finding it really hard to get out of bed at times, just to go to work. I was self-sabotaging, and over time I really lost the sense of myself. And again, at 23, I had another spiritual experience where the night before one of my best friend's wedding, I was one of her matron of honours, and all the all the bridesmaids stayed at Teresa's mum's house the night before the wedding, and Teresa's nan appeared to me through the night. And again, it was very similar to my first experience. She was very, very warming. I felt very lucky to be in her presence. Um, she was just smiling at me and made me feel very warm and happy. And again, I just acknowledged her and went back to sleep. Yeah, so in my early 20s, I was still trying to work out all these traumas that I'd been through. I didn't really tell many people about what had happened and what was happening to me. I really kept it to myself. Um, there was a bit of a shift. I became a mum at 25, and for the first time, I really felt like I knew why I was put on this earth. I felt anchored and I felt purposeful for the first time in my life. And this came with a lot of good feelings, and a lot of the depression had sort of started to cease a little bit, and the anxiety. And later in my time, about 29, with my daughter, and along with the help of another psychic medium called Tanya, helped me find the courage to leave that marriage and just move on into the next chapter of my life. And in my early 30s, I really started to commit to unraveling the complex PTSD that I had been suffering, and it was also now that I was having a yearly and sometimes 6 monthly um, uh, visit to a local psychic medium, and she really gave me a lot of clarity and just reassuring me that the path that I was now on was the right path. And it just gave me a lot of clarity, I feel, with those health checks or checkups that I used to call them with my local psychic medium. And yeah, it was then that I sort of started with some grounding practices. I started some meditation, lots and lots and lots and lots of inner child work, and mindset practices. I was doing affirmations, and this work really took years. But it changed my life, and it really started to bring me out of the shell that I was in, and saw that there was an actual light at the other end of the tunnel for me, if that makes sense. And yeah, but through my adult life, I relied on coping mechanisms to numb emotional pain, and with the awareness and support, I was able to release those patterns and learn just healthier ways to regulate myself. It was like books uh, that really sort of helped me. How to Heal Your Life by Elizabeth Hayes was it played a huge part of my healing. It was from this book that taught me that our innermost thoughts and beliefs create our experiences for health and reality, and that healing comes from releasing that self-criticism, the fear and the limiting beliefs that I had. Um, yeah, and just replacing them with self-approval things like, the self-love. And it also taught me that the physical illnesses that we create are created by suppressed emotions and just the mental thought patterns that we process through our minds every day. And started to practice affirmations like, I am worthy, and I love and approve of myself. Really helped. And just practicing, things like forgiveness and letting go those past pains, and, the shame and the resentment, they played a huge part of my life. And just the anger I had towards my perpetrators, and, and just believing in myself, and just stop carrying that burden of all of these things. Another book was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. His book was so good. It really taught me that the present moment is all that we have, and that the past and the future are all just mental illusions. and the present is real, and that, our analytical mind, it's the one that creates this false suffering that we call the ego. And yeah, so those two books and a video that Oprah Winfrey actually put me on to, called The Law of Attraction. What was it called? The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. And yeah, it really introduced me to the law of attraction. And, it taught me that I was the creator. The creator came from within me. And that our reality is made up by, what we're thinking about, our mindset, our visualizations, and how gratitude can directly influence how we attract health and wealth and prosperity, and just aligning my thoughts with the universe's energy, that and everything's frequency, and we're all vibrating at different frequency, and being able to raise that vibration in order to bring through things that we really want to have in our lives. And, all these things were just huge for me, to have that realization that that's, how, being awake really was. And yeah, so it was just before COVID hit in 2020 that I reconnected with my girlfriend, Cherise. She'd moved into States many years prior. And when I met up with Therese, she told me that she was a psychic medium, and she really encouraged me to trust in my intuitive abilities. Something that other psychics have told me over the years, that I would get into this work and be able to, do the whole psychic intuitive readings, and being a medium and contacting with spirits. And that really, I really felt that, because I just been told, many times over the years that, when I'd visited psychic mediums, they would always say, this is kind of work you're going to get into, you've just got to get the work done on yourself first. And when you're in the time, timing is right for you, that you would sort of step into this sort of career. And yeah, so it was pretty exciting. So, of course, when I left Teresa's place, I came home and got onto Amazon straight away and ordered my first deck of cards. And they came through. And my first deck here is the Wisdom deck, and yeah, by Radley Valentine. And yeah, so I went on to do courses in tarot, mediumship, Akashic records, and Reiki 1 and 2. And yeah, and eventually I became a certified spiritual life coach in July 2025, hoping just that I can give back what I've learned over the years, navigating my complex PTSD, and, a spiritual awakening. Because, I feel like I didn't realize that I was actually going through an awakening until, quite some time ago. Probably around 2010, maybe between 2007 and 2010, that I actually thought, okay, this is more going on than just complex PTSD, and yeah, so I'm very excited. I now support men and women through my 12-week program. It's called Awaken and Anchor. And, this is a program that is for people who are awakening, that just want to feel more regulated. They're feeling overwhelmed and not sure how to navigate, what they're experiencing. And yeah, and so I help people to navigate their experiences of spirituality and calming their nervous system, and just helping them to learning to trust themselves again. Because, wherever you are, no one's broken, and no one's sort of behind. We're all on our journey in our own sort of timing. And you're definitely not alone in this journey. And I'd love to be able to help you navigate that through your journey. And yeah, so that's a little bit about me. Over the coming weeks, there's going to be lots and lots and lots of different topics that I want to talk about. There's so much about spirituality that I have learned over many, many years. And, we're going to look at how to calm your nervous system. We're going to look at breath work and meditation, inner child work, of course, something I know very, very much about, and affirmations and how they help, and mindsets. Making sure that that mindset is in the right, because our thoughts create our reality. So, we really need to have that mindset in a good, healthy frequency to order to bring those into our lives. And what else are we going to look at? The law of attraction. I want to look at the law of oneness and how everything's connected. I want to look at how we can follow our intuition and know that that's our intuition and not actually our ego that's talking to us. I would love to talk about our chakras and, how they sort of fit into the awakening. I want to talk about crystals. I love crystals, amethyst and, clear quartz and tourmaline and, ones that protect us, and crystals that are there for love and abundance. So I'd love to share some of my information with you about that. And of course, I want to talk to you about Akashic records and what they come from, and what they're all about, and of course tarot and mediumship, and there's lots of other topics, and yeah, all these will be coming over the next couple of weeks that we will have a chat about, plus more, and plus all the lovely readings that I can't wait to start having chats to you all about. So if anyone's ready for a chat and would love to have a little reading, I would love to have through. Patricia. Hey, Patricia,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm
Nice to
fine,
meet
and
you.
you?
Yeah,
You
I'm
too.
really good, thank you. Thank you. Where are you from,
Good.
Patricia?
North Carolina.
Sorry? North Carolina.
North
Beautiful. What's the
Carolina.
weather like there? Nice,
What's that?
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm from Sydney, Australia.
Ah, I knew Australia. I didn't know where.
Yeah, just up, north of Sydney, on the coast, which is beautiful.
Ah, yes.
Love being surrounded by water.
Gosh, I don't know why What's that?
I've just flicked a little card out for you. It's the ego card. I just want to see what message we've got here for you today. So I have, what I use is my pendulum. My pendulum is called Penny. And Penny helps me a lot just to get our yes and no answers. And so what I'm doing is just finding out exactly where your message is today. So Penny, let's see where on the ego card is our message for today. So let's have a look. Okay, the message today is accept responsibility for your situation and then make choices that support your path to happiness. Does that ring any bells for you there, Patricia?
I'm not, well, I guess it could. I have a lot going on. I guess it's probably maybe work related. I've been kind of frustrated and not sure where I stand with my company. So maybe it has to do with that.
Okay, let's see what these other cards have brought out for you. Okay, it's saying plan carefully before taking action, then get going.
Okay.
So I'm getting not to make any rash decisions. Like, don't just get up and leave. Make sure that there's something for you to go to. But they're saying pay attention to the details. We're waiting for the right timing, and I feel like it's just not quite there yet for you.
Right.
But I do feel that there's something coming for you. Are you thinking about becoming self-employed?
Well, I mean, I'm not young, so this is probably my last career, as you would call it. It would be hard to find a job. Uh, you know, I've been here 20 years, so but so I'm. It was either that or think of retiring.
Yeah, okay. I feel like there's more of a stepping back, not so much completely giving up work, but I feel like you could be reducing your hours or days that you could be working. Is that possible
Yeah,
for you instead of stepping out completely?
yeah. I don't know if it's possible to do that or not. And I don't really want to leave. I just feel like I'm kind of losing. I don't know that they want me to stay.
Oh,
They just
okay.
don't
I
want to.
get you.
Yeah, yeah, I just can't get a feel whether, you know, they want me to stay or
Yeah,
they're just, yeah,
because you're very loyal and dedicated to what you're doing.
for sure.
See, I've put the other cards for you. It's saying that, see, there's a compromise there for you, a successful compromise. I feel like you're going to step back, but not completely. I feel like you're going to reduce some days. Instead of working, say, 5 days a week, you might only be working 3 days a week.
Mhm.
I feel like there's quite a bit of diversity there for you. Do you,
Okay.
I, you're very spiritual yourself?
I've always been told that for sure, but I don't know.
Because I'm
Sometimes it's
getting
hard for me to
here,
find it, but I feel it. I try to be.
yeah. Because but are you meditating at the moment?
I have always on and off, you know. I've been under a lot of, I don't know what to call it, but yeah, I guess I would say to you, I do, and I don't even always realize it. I just lost my husband, so it's been a tough year.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
one of the cards has come out as called the Wise Counselor. It's saying unity with a spiritually minded community. So I'm not sure if you're in a women's group or a women's group who are, spiritually minded is going to help you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
feel
know
like
of
that
any
could do a
around
lot
here.
for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Um, the meditation's coming through quite heavy for me, saying, that, it's something that we really should be looking at doing a little bit more of, because I'm also getting a card here saying a guardian angel or someone who watches over you. And I feel like your spirit team, we've all got a spirit team, really want to be able to help you navigate this time in your life. And that definitely could be your husband as well, up there
Right.
watching over. So I feel like through the
Yeah.
meditations, you will be able to listen more and hear those messages that are coming through, because I feel like your hubby is, you know, I feel like he's almost sits with you every night. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if
Yeah.
there's a chair,
I do.
whether you sit next. Yeah, I feel like he's very close to you all the time. And I feel like through that meditation and just you being open a little bit more spiritually, that those messages are going to come through and give you that guidance and
One
clarity that you need.
wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're very
Bye
welcome. Have
bye.
a lovely night.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you.
You
Bye. So I'm not sure if we've got time for another caller. Maybe not. Okay, let's wrap this up a little bit then. So if you're interested in my 12-week program, it is, I can be contacted through my Coastal Psychic Vibe Spiritual School, through Facebook, and I'm more than happy to go through that with you. But yeah, I'm just so grateful to be on air tonight with you all on A1R Radio. And yeah, thank you for having me, and have a great week, everybody. And thank you for supporting Coastal Psychic Vibe Spiritual School. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.